Alright, good morning guys. Alright, today we'll be talking about conditions for rhombi, rectangles, and squares. Okay, so last time we talked about the shapes and their properties and everything, but today we're going to talk about the specifics for each shape. Okay, so for example, today I'm going to talk about the rhombus. We all know it's a parallelogram, so that one's pretty easy. What sets apart the rhombus from everything else? Okay, besides its congruent sides. Okay, that would actually be that its diagonals bisect each other, so that there's a, well, no, not bisect, they perpendicularly bisect. Okay, so that's one huge thing. Plus another thing that shows up is that the angles are also bisected. The rhombus is the only one that follows this. Now in your book, this is theorem 16 or 6.17 and 6.16. So those are the two theorems you're going to be using when proving this type of stuff. Okay. All right. Now, what if we actually had just a straight up rectangle? How do we know that it's a rectangle rather than any other type of quadrilateral? Okay, or another type of parallelogram? Well, the reason would be that the diagonals are equal. Okay, so in other words, not only do they bisect each other, but they are equal. That's the only property that, well, that's one of the few properties besides the right angles inside of a quadrilateral that separate a rectangle from the other shapes. So all of the diagonals are equal. Okay, so that's theorem 6.18. Okay. And if you wanted to actually have a square, it would need to have both of these properties. Okay, so in other words, if we were dealing with a square, we would not only have diagonals that bisect each other, or perpendicular bisect each other, okay, which is one of the properties of a rhombus. Okay, and not only do they bisect the angles, which is also another property of rhombus, but that these diagonals are equal. So you would need to know both of those for a square to happen. So please understand that you need both the properties of a rhombus and a rectangle to actually make a square, okay? Alright, and that is it for this time. If you guys should have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll be able to help you out. So have a wonderful day. That's the conditions for the rhombi, rectangles, and squares.